こんにちは、ハリケーンフットボールです。今回の教材は、リバプールの遠藤航に関する動画です。リバプールは、プレミアリーグ第三節でアーセナルと対戦し、1対0で接戦をものにしました。昨年の1位と2位の対戦、今シーズンも共に2連勝で迎えた大一番に、かなり締まった展開というのか、睨む合う展開というのか、チャンスになりそうで、チャンスを与えない、潰し合う、そんな展開だったように思えました。このままスコアレスドローだろうとも思っていた中で、83分に、ソボスライのスーパーフリーキックが決まり、最高の1対0の勝利と言えるものになりました。遠藤航は、足がつったビルツに代わって89分から出場し、ただただ遠藤の仕事をし続けました。アンフィールドアジェンダのプレーヤーレーティングでは、短時間の出場だったものの、唯一の見せ場だったかもしれませんが、遠藤航にとっては最高の見せ場とも言えるような、アーセナルの最後のカウンターを止めた遠藤航のイエローカードを絶賛しています。実際にどのように話しているのか、チェックしてみましょう。
What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to our player ratings video here on Anfield Agenda after Liverpool stay top of the Premier League, stay perfect with 3 wins from 3 after a 1-0 victory over Mikel Arteta's Arsenal. I'm going to go through, give the referee, the players, our substitutes and our manager all a score out of 10. You will see 2 images as always. The one in the upper corner is the Anfield Agenda audience average score and the large square in the centre is my score. If you want to join us in the future for these, make sure that you're signed up to the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp, which is where Connor posts the link for you to submit your ratings. But do feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Give me your scores if you'd like to. Let me know your thoughts on mine. I'll be back here tonight at 9 p.m. for the late night agenda where we'll be talking Isak and Gay. But until then, let's get through the scores. So we're going to start off with the referee as we always do, ladies and gents. And I have to say I was a bit unhappy in the first 20-30. But as the game went on, I honestly thought Chris Kavanagh tried to let it flow. And I understood some of the early decisions a bit more. So I have nothing really to complain about from the referee today. Felt he could have given Zubimendi a yellow card a little bit earlier. But other than that, I thought Chris Kavanagh dealt with what he needed to. So I'm going to give him a score of 6.5. And the audience have gone with a 5.9. Next up, our goalkeeper. Which honestly was a difficult one to score because he really didn't have all that much to do. He did sweep our keeper role quite well, dealt with anything he needed to aerially, but wasn't kept too busy. So for that reason, I'm giving him a 7, which I think is a good score considering he wasn't too busy. But that whole back line today was nothing but superb. So a 7 from me and a 7.5 from the audience. Next up, Milos Kerkez. Let me just say, huge improvements. I absolutely loved his performance today. Gave up nothing. Won every single ground duel that he was involved in. Phenomenal to me from Milos today. That is the Milos Kerkez we all know and love, and the one that we thought we'd sign. So keep that going forward, young man, and we won't be too far wrong. So an 8.5 for me for what I thought was an impeccable performance, and then 8.2 from the Anfield Agenda audience. Next up, our captain. Again, you're going to get nothing but praise from me for the whole back line today because they deserve it. They were phenomenal. Virgil was aerially dominant. Some of his passing was absolutely phenomenal. And he guided and marshalled that defence like we'd want. So our captain gets a score of 9 from me and 8.0 for the Anfield Agenda audience. But again, honestly, I think we were faultless today defensively. So they deserve their flowers. Next up, Kanade. Same thing. Absolutely top notch. This is the Ibrahim Kanade that we all know and love. He looked like he was zoned in. He got everything right. He was aerially dominant. He was dominant on the ground. His passing was fine. He was breaking through channel or breaking through lines on occasion. Phenomenal. Only down point was the cramp at the end that he was going off it. And we do hope that does appear to be cramp. But other than that, I have nothing but praise for Ibu today. Gets a score again of 9 for me. I don't know how a 7.7 came up. That feels low to me, folks. I thought all of our defence, they gave them nothing. Brilliant. Next up, Dominic Szoboszlai, correctly voted with 90% your Anfield Agenda man of the match. Free kick alone would be enough to win the man of the match poll. And by the way, wow, what a strike from Dom. You will go a long way to see a better free kick than that. Even when you've got United fans messaging you saying that was the closest thing to one of Ronaldo's peak free kicks, it was phenomenal. So Dom did his job at right back, was up against a pacey customer in Martinelli. Yes, on occasion maybe he was out sprinted, but he got back into position and did his job well. So today for Dominic Szoboszlai, a big 9.5 from me, and the Anfield Agenda audience has gone even higher, which I love, with a score for Dom of 9.6. Do let us know in the comments exactly how impressed you were with Dominic Szoboszlai, or Daddy Dom Daycare, as I'm now calling him, because since he's become a father, he's gone on to another level. Undroppable. Right, into midfield. Ryan Gravenberch picked himself up a first half-hour yellow card again, but managed to marshal his way through the game. Midfield was a tough battle today. Arsenal had some big physical guys in there and they weren't given much. But he found a way to keep going in the game. And as the game went on, I felt like there was only one team looking like they were going to win it. And that midfield battle was eventually won, but in the second half. So for Ryan, for me, I'm giving a 7.5. The audience, pretty similar, with a score there of 7.4. Next up, Alexis McAllister. I felt like he struggled at times to really get into that game. Things seemed like a half second off, but he is coming back from, should we say, reduced pre-season. And this was the first time we started a game with Gravenberch and McAllister together so far this season. So taking all of that into account, and the fact that he never shirks responsibility or puts in anything other than 100% effort, I'm giving him a score today of 7. The audience gone a little bit lower, which, to be fair, I can understand. I may have been a tad generous there with the 7, but clean sheets, it's hard not to give the midfielder props as well. So 7 from me and a 6.4 from the audience. Next up, Florian Wirtz, which was again a game of two halves. People need to give him a little bit more breathing room, because you can see it's starting to click. He's starting to go through the gears. Second half, he really started to come into his own. And again, the lack of ground he covers, the pressing that he puts in, when this does all click, you will see the superstar we've brought in. But for now, first half, struggled to really get the grips of it. Second half, much better. So I'm giving him a score of 7. And the audience have gone with a 6.6. Next up, we move on to Cody Gakpo. And look, if I do have some criticisms today, it is of our two wide players. For various reasons, they weren't getting close enough to Hugo to help him out. I felt like in possession, they didn't really give us enough. Cody cut inside a couple of times and had strikes. Both of them didn't really result in too much negativity for the Arsenal defence. So if I have some criticisms today, it is probably of our two wide players. Certainly Cody wasn't the worst of the two. I think he was better than Mohamed Salah. So for that reason, I'm giving Cody a 6.5. And the Anfield Agenda audience thinking similarly with a score there of 6.4. Next up, look, before anybody starts typing the words hate or whatever, I call it as I see it. Mohamed Salah is a superstar, an icon. We love him, but he isn't above being called out for poor performances, and this was yet another poor performance. Why that is, whether it's Diogo, whether it's Father Time, whether it's something else, I don't know. But I do know that he needs to start protecting the ball a lot better. Anytime Arsenal had a chance of a counter-attack, most of it came from Mo's passes not getting past the first man or going to an Arsenal player. I don't like to say it, but I'm not going to shirk away from it either, because I need to be honest with my audience. And Mohamed Salah just wasn't good enough today. Doesn't mean he won't be going forward, but he needs to improve. We know what his levels are. He knows what they are, and he needs to be better. Today, I'm giving him a 5, and the audience have gone for a 5.5. And I don't think either scores are unfair. We call it as we see it. Nothing against Mo. We love him, but we know he's better than what we're seeing so far. Next up, Ugo Ekitike. Once again, the manager felt like he wasn't ready to do 90 and took him off, when you could probably have made an argument to leave him on and bring somebody else off. But wasn't shirking his physicality, was a lone ranger up there at times, didn't really get much support, particularly in the first half. But I do like his tenacity, and I do like him as a player. I'm looking forward to seeing him, well, maybe with some more players in and around them. So we'll go for a 6.5 for Hugo Ekitike from me, and a 6.4 from the audience. Now we move on to Curtis Jones. I actually couldn't believe some of what I was reading from some people commenting about Curtis Jones and saying how bad he was. I don't know what they were watching, but for me, I seen a player who came in, really started to knit together things for us, put himself about, won his challenges and created some space. I thought that was a very good cameo from Curtis Jones. I'm giving him a score of 7. The audience, 6.7. But again, to the people that have already pre-decided before he plays that he isn't good enough, at least give him a chance and talk about what you're seeing. If he isn't good enough, I'll call it out as well. But he's done very well for me when he's come in, and I think he's deserving of a 7 and a 6.7 from the audience. Federico Chiesa did very well when he came on. My favourite part was his little bit at the end where he twisted, turned, tried to find Salah, but seen it wasn't on, turned back on, got a strike away, won us a corner, which we needed deep in the Arsenal half, right at the end of the game. And again, that tenacity shines through every time Federico gets on the pitch. So more from him moving forward, more options for him, more opportunities for him. And we're going to give him a 7.5 from me, because I really do feel he put himself about when he came on, when we needed to chase down, close Arsenal and give them nothing. The audience a little bit lower with a 6.4. Now, Joe Gomez. How could you not be impressed with that from Joe? Left it all out there. He has been an incredible servant to a football club. I don't know what happens between now and the window shuts, whether he stays, whether he goes. But I do know that I'm very grateful for the 10-year service he's given, and I'm very grateful for the shift he put in when he came on today. So Joe gets an 8 from me, and I think he earned that coming on for Canade. Even in the brief time, it was when Arsenal were attacking at their most, and he stood up to be counted. So an 8 from me for Joe, and a 7.3 from the audience. Moving on to Endo. Again, you know what you get. Honesty. I love the yellow card he took. I'm going to say that again. I love the yellow card he took. Made no bones about it. Wrestling the player to the ground. But he did his job. And he stopped the counter-attack. And he helped us see out the game. And that is why we love Endo. So, a 6.5 from me. And a 6.5 from the audience. And lastly, Arne Slot. The game was a difficult one. It was a game of chess at times. And Arteta came not to lose. Arne had to find a way to win. And yes, it was a moment of magic from Dominic Szoboszlai, but I thought his substitutions, the players he brought on, all made a difference. You can argue about whether he took off the right players or not, but the subs made a difference in the game. And tactically, I think he got it right. It is about winners, and the winners do write the history. So Arne got the job done. But again, tactically, I really liked what I'd seen today from Arne. So for me, I'm going to give our manager a score of 8.5, because we wanted an improved defensive performance. We got it. We're 3 from 3 in the league. Can't really complain too much. So 8.5 from me and a score of 7.9 from the audience. But do let us know your thoughts. So that is it for the player ratings, ladies and gents. Remember, we will be back tonight. We still have now 23 hours left in this summer's transfer window. So I'll see you at 9 o'clock for the late night agenda. And if I don't, I will see you tomorrow for transfer deadline day. So much love. Do let us know your thoughts in the comment. Thank you for your support. Drop a like on the video. Hit that subscribe button. But most importantly, enjoy yourselves. 3 from 3.
次は解説です。今回も面白い表現が多くありましたが、これまで解説していないものを特にピックアップして解説しています。それでは本日の解説をチェックしてみましょう。
You will go a long way to see a better free kick than that.
Go a long way to see または find という表現は、イギリス英語を中心に使われるイディオムで、何かを見つけるのは難しいという意味です。つまり、滅多にないほど素晴らしいという褒め言葉になります。ポイントは、Go a long way が、努力してもなかなかなんできない、つまり、特別だという強調になるところです。これ以上素敵な場所はなかなか見つからないというような場面で最適です。
You will go a long way to see a better free kick than that. You will go a long way to see a better free kick than that. And I may have been a tad generous there with the 7.
タットという言葉は、オタマジャクシを意味するタットポールから来ており、タットは小さい。ポールは頭のことです。タットだけで少しやちょっとという意味で使われ、アタットイキテンシブといえば、ちょっと高いねという意味になります。もともとはアメリカの口語表現で、少し砕けた響きを持っています。アリトルやアビットとほぼ同じ意味ですが、タットを使うとよりフランクな感じが出ます。特に会話やカジュアルな文章、SNS などでよく使われます。フォーマルな文章ではあまり使わないので注意が必要です。
And I may have been a tad generous there with the 7. And I may have been a tad generous there with the 7. But he isn't above being called out for poor performances.
コールアウトというフレーズは、とても多義的で使い方が豊富です。まず基本的には、大声で呼ぶや、呼び出すという意味があります。最近では、人の問題点を公然と指摘するや、批判するというニュアンスでも使われ、特に SNS やニュース記事でよく見かけます。つまり、コールアウトは、声を上げて呼ぶから転じて、声を上げて批判するに広がったイメージです。 会話でもフォーマルな文でも使える便利な表現なので覚えておきましょう。
But he isn't above being called out for poor performances. But he isn't above being called out for poor performances. Whether it's father time.
ファザータイムという表現は、ギリシャ神話とも関連して、白ひげの老人として擬人化された、時間のキャラクターのようなものであり、時間や老化を意味する言葉として使われるものです。スポーツニュースや記事で、ファザータイムという言葉が出てきたら、それは、年齢の影響や、老いという意味だと考えるとわかりやすいでしょう。例えば、ファザータイムイズキャッチングアップウィズヒムといえば、彼も年齢による衰えが出てきたという意味になります。日本語で言う、年齢には逆らえないと同じニュアンスです。特にアスリートや芸能人など、年を取ることが話題になる場面でよく使われる表現です。
Whether it's father time, whether it's father time was a lone ranger up there at times.
ローンレインジャーという言葉は、もともとアメリカの西部劇の主人公の名前です。このキャラクターは孤独なヒーローとして悪を倒していく存在で、そこから一般的な表現として、ローンレインジャーは、一匹狼や単独行動をする人という意味で使われるようになりました。ポジティブに独立心があるという意味でも使えますし、ネガティブに協調性がないという意味でも使われます。会話やビジネスの場面でも出てくる比喩表現なので覚えておくと便利です。
Was a lone ranger up there at times. Was a lone ranger up there at times. Me, because I really do feel he put himself about when he came on.
Put oneself about はイギリス英語でよく耳にする表現です。基本的な意味は精力的に動き回るや積極的に存在感を示すというポジティブなものです。一方で文脈によってはラシャバルや売名行為をするといった少しネガティブなニュアンスになることもあります。つまり良い意味でアクティブに動くか悪い意味で必死に目立とうとしているか状況次第で解釈が変わる表現です。イギリス文化のリアルな会話を理解する上で覚えておきたいフレーズです。
Me, because I really do feel he put himself about when he came on. Me, because I really do feel he put himself about when he came on. Made no bones about it.
Make no bones about という表現は率直に言うやためらわずに認めるという意味を持ちます。このフレーズは意見や感情を包み隠さずに表すときに使われるのがポイントです。もともとの語源は15世紀に遡り、スープに骨が入っていると飲みにくいが、骨がなければ迷わず飲める、イコール、ためらいがない、というイメージから来ていると言われています。日常会話でもビジネスでも使える表現で、特に強調して意見を述べたいときに便利です。
Made no bones about it. Made no bones about it.
いかがでしたか？遠藤航の出場時間は全く短いものでしたが、もちろん予想通りであり、怪我人などが出ない限りは大きく変わることはないでしょう。移籍市場も今日までですが、芸費の獲得もまだ可能性がありそうですし、それ次第ではベンチメンバーから追い出される不安も感じています。それでも出場すれば遠藤らしいプレーを今回も見せ、今回は失点もすることなく、遠藤航の良い意味で変わらないプレーを示せたのだろうと思います。次は代表チームで遠藤航を十分に見れるでしょうから、アメリカ戦とメキシコ戦で期待したいと思います。本日もご視聴いただきありがとうございました。またすぐにお会いしましょう。